Hello everybody, we're here with your World Pokemon Federation Week 3 Power Rankings. I'm Crossbow. Um, yeah, we got our PRs. This is going up on Thursday, the day before Week 4 goes up. It's late, sorry. I didn't have the capability to upload it or record it or really since like yesterday. So I made the sheets, got my PRs and everything, and then I'm recording it today. I had to finish updating the doc just a tad bit, and I was doing it last night, and I didn't want to record for an hour. But yeah, these should be pretty short PRs actually. Um, Likely, just because we have two forfeits, as in like one got a forfeit loss and one got a forfeit win, so we don't have to talk about them. Um, And just, yeah, that's really it. But anyway, we have our number 16 coach. It's Danny Mack. He's dropping one after not playing a game. Why? Because it's not all about this week. He has, in general, disappointed. And now he takes a forfeit loss. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's not like, I didn't change. Like, a forfeit loss or win that is not going to change your positioning unless it's like unless someone else just deserves to be higher, and the coach that we had under him deserved to be higher than him. Like, he did. So he just happened to drop one. It's not. I mean, it's his fault, but like, I don't think the forfeit's his fault. I imagine he wanted to play. He probably was not able to. But nonetheless, I think the other coach played splendid under him. Number 15, Razor Claw. I don't know what the fuck. Oh, yeah. Also, we have updated the page a little bit more. We have our last two opponents in the bottom left. We have our opponent on the screen, and we have the opponent's probable team on the screen. It may not be 100% right because these are current teams. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not going back. And we've updated like the Therian form, so now we actually have the difference between Thunder's Eye, Thunder's Therian, Torn, Lando, same things. So yeah, but anyway, Razor Claw's our number 15 coach. He played Greyvee, which is obviously a very tough opponent. Like, Razor Claw's early schedule has been relatively difficult. He played 3-0 Dashing Sceptile, 3-0 Greyvee, and then Will, who's just a good coach. But this week, I wouldn't fault him too much. It's just that the one guy above him played really well and deserved to win his match. And while Razor Claw brought really weird team, I mean, like, so Razor Claw is apparently known for bringing really, like, weird stuff. The issue with that here is that it was just bad. I genuinely just think it was bad. Because his team was Salikberry Fez. It was, I think, Salik Zarude. Did he bring Zarude? Wait, I don't think he had Zarude. Wait, no, he did have Zarude. Yeah, he had Zarude, probably. But yeah, it was like Salik Fez. It was Scarf Heracross. Scarf. What was the other Scarf? He had two Scarfers. But then like 3 Saliks and then a Yachi Berry Talonflame. Which I understand that and ended up coming into play, kind of. But like, what? Just what? Like, the issue with it is that nothing did anything. Like, yeah, it was Salik Fez, Custap Trapinch, Yachi Talonflame, Scarf Heracross. Was it Scarf Mamoswine? Or was it... No, it wasn't Scarf Mamo. It was Custap Mamo, I believe. It was Custap Mamo, and then Scarf Zarude also. It was a really bad team. It was just bad. Like, it wasn't, like... The issue is that it just didn't make sense. Like, I understand bringing cool stuff to try to win, but what the fuck? I can't understand what he brought. His brain level, his levels above mine. But the Pheasant did, but he actually had a very good chance of winning. But the opponent Salazzle, missed like 2 Fire Blasts, which actually hurt because the Salazzle died to Life Orb before it could pop the Salac Berry, so it couldn't get the +1 speed. And I'm pretty sure at that point it would just sweep. And Greyvee actually should have played around that. It was very obvious it was Salac at that point, but he didn't. And like, he didn't auto lose, but he probably lost. You know. Well, I think he just did lose. It was +6, +6, +1 Fez, like with Icy Wind and I imagine Moonblast. Yeah, he has nothing. It doesn't look like. Yeah, I just couldn't understand the team. That was really it. It had to be like the entire gameplay was just to win with Pheasantipity, and if that didn't work, it was over. And it's like Fire Spin Yachi Talent, like your Yachi Talonflame, but you're not even a move to kill Chienbao. That was the worst part. The Fez was good, it was cool, and then Scarf Heracross makes some sense to revenge Mew potentially, revenge Salazzle, revenge Chienbao. Like it makes sense. Like Trap Bench, good for trapping Chienbao and stuff. Like some of the things made sense. The Mamoswine is really good here. But then, like, he's a Yachi Berry Talonflame with no Flare Blitz or anything to kill Chienbao. Why? Why? And, like, I feel like he could have gone, like, a, what's a Dark Berry? Culber Berry Grass. He could have brought, like, a Gastrodon. Gastrodon made a ton of sense. Gastrodon was really good in this matchup. What the hell? Meloetta has some viability. Like, I just don't understand what he brought, and I think it was really poor prep. But again, Razor's known, apparently, for, like, really unexpected prep. Like, really, he's gonna, his team looks bad, but he can make it work. Just so far in the season, he has not made it work. He's sitting at 0-3 in games where he hasn't been lucky, and he's definitely been more unlucky than not. But it's, the prep is weird. I think he's doing too much. Just because it's cool. Just because it's cool does not mean it's good. But I imagine his team looks really fun. Like, I imagine he's having fun. I will say that. I think he's having fun. But this is power rankings, you know. Ultimately, how much fun you're having does not account for anything. Next, we have Arknk, who actually moves up 2 spaces after losing. You know why? Because he got robbed. He got royally robbed, once again, by the way, from Sceptile, getting incredibly lucky. And playing bad, and getting incredibly lucky. Yeah, no, Arknk brought a really nice team. I liked it. I was a little bit surprised about, like, Ninetales. But, like, Raging Bolt plus Ninetales makes a ton of sense. Raging Bolt's very good here. Regirock was a good bring for backs. I mean, I thought Calm Mind Vaporeon was a little weird, but, like, it makes sense also. Like, he doesn't really deal with it much, and it's just a free Calm Minds on Slowking Alamuola. The guy, I get that. I think you could have used Flip Turn, but I understand. Like, I understand why you wouldn't, you know. Defensive Tusk. Yeah, it was Scarf Cinderace, Defensive Tusk, Lefty's 4 attacks, Raging Bolt with no Thunderclap, by the way, which I thought was bad. Heatrock Ninetales, Defensive Regirock, Resto Chesto, and then Calm Mind Vaporeon. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was good prep. He has Scarf Cinderace should deal with backs every day of the week, and Regirock should just be able to deal with backs for the most part. Calm Mind Vaporeon is a potential in-game, but probably not. You probably want to look to a Cinderace in-game, because Power Ball is very good if you can catch the Alomola with a Electro Ball. Especially if you kill Alomola. If you kill Alomola, Power Ball is completely free to this team. Completely free. He has no switch-ins. His opponent didn't bring Palisand, which I thought might come because like the Volt Switch immunity and just it's being a decent defensive pivot into Tusk and Cinderace. I think that would have been like the other thing his opponent could have brought, but he didn't. He brought Baxcalibur, Torn, Slowking, Aloe, me and Xiao low kicks. So yeah, like his team was good. He dealt with Terra low kicks enough. I mean, it's hard to deal with that Pokemon, but he dealt with it enough. He had very good answers to Baxcalibur. Raging Bolt beats Torn every day of the week. I mean, his prep was right. And he played very well just to keep getting his Raging Bolt into Volt Switch. And I will say that like he got pretty fortunate with some bad calls by the opponent early on. Like he killed Baxcalibur in like the first like 5 turns because he just sacked it off to a Regirock. So that was bad by his opponent, but hey, I'm not gonna fault Ark for his opponent playing bad. But yeah, he makes a good call into Alomola. Like, it's a ballsy call because he like lost. So he ended up with a situation where it was Cinderace, Raging Bolt, and Tusk, I believe. No, Vaporeon, not Tusk. Yeah, it was Tusk too, but it doesn't matter. Versus Alomola, low kicks, Mienshao. Mienshao was in, and he went Cinderace, and he clicked Electro Ball, predicting Alomola. Which was crazy play, because if that Mienshao stayed in, it was crazy. Because, like, if the Mienshao is Scarf, because he doesn't know it's Scarf. This is why it's such a crazy play. Because if Mienshao is Scarf, then Sceptile could just stay in. Probably. Obviously, it's Scarf Cinderace, which one-shots him, right? But the Sceptile does not know it's Scarf. He has no clue it's Scarf. And then... So if it's Scarf Mienshao, he probably just stays in. But it's not Scarf Mienshao. It ends up being like black... I think it was Black Belt. But so yeah, if that was Scarf Mienshao, that Mienshao probably stayed in. And that Electro Ball would not have worked. I think Ark's biggest struggle this season... I mean, this was complete robbery. But... Well, we'll finish the game first. So yeah, he makes an insane call with Electro Ball. And then his opponent has 2 switches to Electro Ball and chooses to go neither one of them and sacks off Alomola, enabling a Power Ball in-game. So, Lokix comes in, he sacks Tusk, gets in Cinderace to Power Ball, kill Mienshao Lokix. The Lokix switches out to Mienshao, just trying to preserve differential. Because at this point he loses, assuming he hits 2 Power Balls, right? So, the Lokix switches out into Mienshao. Cinderace misses the first Power Ball, but that doesn't matter because Power Ball one-shots. So as long as he hits this, he doesn't. He misses. He misses 2 Power Balls in a row to get completely robbed, and Mienshao sweeps him from that point. Yeah, I mean it was a robbery. He was gonna get a 3-0 W, and instead he lost 2-0. So, Ark's also had a bitch of a schedule. Like, he's played 2-1 Volume, 2-1 Marcus, and now he's a 3-0 Sceptile. Like, his schedule has been very difficult. I think his biggest issue this season is, like, he doesn't account for what the opponent thinks. Which I don't like. Like, he brings things, like... I don't know. He brings things like text and stuff. Not even text. That's like Scarf Cinderace. And like what? I didn't really have anything else really crazy on this team. It was just very standard prep this game. But like Scarf Cinderace on that Mienshao, it worked out. But if that was Scarf Mienshao, you literally lost right there because you clicked Electro Ball, and you have no clue at that point. And like Scarf Mienshao makes sense to an extent versus this team. Like it just outspeeds everything. All its Scarf Cinderace or Scarf Azelf. Which, to be fair, that's pretty likely. So Scarf Mienshao's not good here. But the thing is, it just clicks close combat and high jump kick, really. So like, he doesn't have to be anything else. He can just be Scarf to outspeed the Pokemon that outspeed him. And the only way they're going to outspeed is if they're plus speed, or 8 Choice Scarf. So like, if that was Scarf Mienshao, you literally lost. And you had no clue it wasn't. But it worked out because you're a genius. I mean, a power play into that Alomomola. But, yeah, I think that Ark's biggest issue this season is that he has things, but doesn't use them properly. In this game, it was a lot less so. He did mostly everything right. The only thing he could have done at the end was go Raging Bolt instead of Cinderace on the low kicks. The low kicks was choice banded. It was locked into first impression. He could not do anything. So you can go Raging Bolt and just click Thunderbolt. You get a kill guaranteed. If Volt Switch kills me in one shot, which I don't know if it does or not, but if it does, you can just Volt too. It's the same exact thing. So you could have gone Raging Bolt and Thunderbolted, so you only had to hit one Pyro Ball into low kicks. The issue with that is that you still didn't hit the Pyro Ball. So you missed 2 Pyro Balls. So the odds, if we're going off that logic, then you would have missed anyway. So, but technically the Raging Bolt route was better because it was a 100% kill rather than, a 90%, 90% kills. So yeah, Arx had a bad schedule and got robbed this game. So it's really tough to judge him too much, and I think he's definitely above the other two 0-3 teams at this point. Just completely. I think he's proved it at this point. Then we have our first 1-2 team in Will. Will is number 13. He drops 1 spot after losing to Volume. So this game sucked. And what I mean by that is they disconnected. And, okay, so early on, you see the Pokemon he brought. His opponent brought Blaziken, Greninja, Clef, Gliscor, Lycanroc, Vikavolt, right? And that's fine. The matchup's fine. It's not good, but it's fine. Ogerpons are really good. Bundle's pretty good. Don't lose to Lycanroc. Lycanroc's a big-ass threat, but you have Scarf for Shifu, which is a good call. Also, Outspeed's +1 Blaziken. Greninja, it just makes a ton of sense here to be Scarf for Shifu here. So yeah, he's Scarf for Shifu, standard. It was sub SD, Ogre. It was Taunt, 3 attacks, Bundle. It was Special Dragonite. And then Calm Mind, Wish, Stored Power, Terra Blast, Water, Girafarig, and then Assault Vest Golurk again. The prep was fine. I mean, it wasn't anything stunning, but it was just standard. I mean, Scissor's not very good here into Tentacruel, into Gliscor, Grin, Blaziken. It just makes a ton of sense to not bring it. I thought Comfake should have came for Greninja, but Comfake, it beats Greninja, but if it, turns into a poison type, you really don't beat it. So, I don't know. But, Terra Steel made sense just to check Greninja, but he wasn't, so, oh well. Yeah. But, early on, I believe lead was... What was it? It was Vikavolt versus Urshifu. And Urshifu U-turns for Chip. Goes into... Where does he go? He goes Ogerpon. And webs go up immediately. And then Ogerpon clicks the Cudgel into... Gliscor? Into Blaziken. It's Scarf Blaziken. And then Blaziken comes in. And it's Choice Scarf Blaziken. And Ogerpon stays in because it lives a hit guaranteed. Oh, it lives it will always. He just wanted chip damage into Blaziken, which was really weird because I didn't think you needed chip damage into Blaziken. Like I feel like sacking your Ogerpon there didn't really make any sense because you don't need damage into Blaziken. Girafarig beats it, Dragonite beats it, your Scarf for Shifu, Golurk lives a hit from full, and then he has to close combat bundle. Like you're, that was a bad play objectively, but it actually would have ended up working. But we'll get into that in a second. Probably a bad play to sack Ogerpon immediately. He keeps doing that. Really bad by Will. He's not playing his Ogerpon very well, in my opinion. He's not getting any value out of his Ogerpon. And this mod, like, he didn't have a control switch in. His best control switch in was Blaziken that took 45%. Like, that's not a switch in. You cudgel, you get 45% off on the switch in. You get Rocks up, he has no switch ins anymore. So yeah, like not even Vikavolt was Terra's fire because that's one of his Terras apparently. That's what he said. I don't know, but I'm assuming it is. Like you could have Terra fired Vikavolt and lived to cudgel and Volt Switch or Bug Buzz or Thunder Wave, like anything, but he wasn't even that. So I wasn't very into that, but we'll get into that when we talk about volumes. But Will, yeah, he gets Blaziken, Scarf Blaziken. He cudgels again and takes a Scarf Blaziken Stone Edge that does like 90%. Or it did like 85%. Like that Ogerpon was really low this time. Or it did like 80. It did like 80, 85%. It doesn't matter. Which is bad because now you're in Rocks range. So if Rocks go up, you're dead to Rocks, which is works out for him, but it doesn't. So yeah, then he switches into Urshifu, I believe. Is it Urshifu or is it something else? No. He goes to Girafarig. Blaziken misses. And he clicks Terra Water straight hard into Gliscor. So it takes like 75% from Terra Blast, but then he wastes a turn Calm Minding. Calm Mind was a really bad play because it allowed Gliscor to get a Toxic off and not die. Like, you didn't kill the Gliscor. You had a very clear opportunity to kill Gliscor and prevent Rocks. You either prevent Rocks, or you prevent a Toxic, or you prevent Gliscor just from living anymore, which is a big deal. It makes, like, Urshifu potential. I mean, there's a Clef there, but, like, Dragonite, if Dragonite can get damage into Clef, but yeah, he doesn't kill the Gliscor and instead goes for a Calm Mind to get a boost and takes a Toxic, and that enables the opponent to go Vikavolt, live a Terra Blast. At that point, you don't have to switch, but he does. Because I think he's faster. No, Dragonite's -1 at that point, so no, it would be slower. So like you're forced out. You're forced out from Girafarig into Vikavolt when you could have gotten a kill and only been Toxic for one turn. Like, it didn't make sense. But then he switches into Golurk on the Vikavolt, kills the Vikavolt, kills Clef, and then Clef weakens it enough for Greninja to come in. Well, Clef doesn't do that. That's not exactly what happens. Clef weakens it enough to put it in range of... How many kills did Golurk get? It killed Vikavolt. It killed... Did it kill Clef? No, I don't think it killed Clef. But anyway, Clef Moonblast a couple times and gets it close to Gliscor range, and Gliscor comes in. Well, then they disconnect after the Clef interaction. Clef comes in and they disconnect, and this is where it gets bad because they have to recreate. And then on this iteration of the battle, Ogerpon doesn't take 80 to 85%. It takes like 70%. He gets like a max roll the first time, and the second time he gets like a bare minimum roll. It did like 68, 70%, which means it's no longer in range of Rocks. Which is awful because the Gliscor then sets up rocks on the Golurk. He goes Greninja, and now something he gets a Battle Bond up. He clicks Dark Pulse to get a Battle Bond up, or he clicks Pump. He clicks a Pump to get a Battle Bond off, because it basically claimed. And he actually sacks Ogerpon, but it doesn't die to rocks this time. While the first time it did die to rocks, which is awful because now the Greninja is +1/+1/+1, and has coverage to almost beat the entire team. And while in the original match, he would have died to rocks, and you could go Bundle, you can go Scarf for Shifu, and you're fine. But that didn't happen in this iteration. So, it's awful. Because in the Greninja, what is it called? It pumps Urshifu, it Ice Beams Dragonite, then Golurk dies to rocks, and then Iron Bundle comes in, lives a Dark Pulse, or no, first off he sanks Girafarig, and to get a Terra Blast off, it dies. So Greninja killed Ogerpon, Urshifu, Dragonite, Girafarig. Golurk died to rocks, and then in the end it comes to Bundle. Bundle's able to revenge Greninja, but at that point he has Scarf Blaziken, he has Lycanroc, like he has plenty of answers to it. So he got really fucked over by the recreation. But nonetheless, that situation didn't necessarily have to happen like that. And what I mean by that is that he could have brought other things. Like Confe would have held versus this Greninja incredibly. And like Girafarig and Bundle both lived hits. So, and like this is not a big deal. But if he didn't go Scarf for Shifu first, and he went Dragonite, sacked it off to get a Hurricane off. Yeah, that's all he had to do. Because he just hit, because it lives one Ice Beam. It lives an Ice Beam, gets a Hurricane off. And then Bundle kills. And well, Bundle lived and could have killed the Greninja back. So at that point, he would have Scarf for Shifu. He would have like a 5 HP Bundle, a Girafarig, and a Golurk that dies to rocks. But instead, he sacks off Girafarig to get use Terra Blast off. He sacks Scarf for Shifu. He sacks off Golurk. And then ends up doing exactly what he should have done. So, like, he got funked over by the recreation. But he had ways... Hold on. I had to pause for a second. But he had ways around it. And he just didn't do it. So, in that way, it was bad. But you still had a chance, and you didn't give yourself a chance. Because at that point, he had like a Blaziken that was at like 10%. He would have had a dead Greninja. Clef definitely stayed alive. Clef was alive, and then Lycanroc's alive. Like, you have a chance. I don't even know. Nah, Bundle had Yashi, so you needed to go Dragonite to get a Hurricane off. I was gonna say, I don't know if you have to go Dragonite, but you do, because you need the Hurricane damage. Like, he played himself out of a chance, but also he got fucked over by the recreation. So it's really tough. Tough call. Next, we got me. We moved up 2 spots. I played Wreck-It Mike. I've had a really bad schedule. Well, I didn't have a bad schedule. Like, my players are good, obviously, but, like, in terms of record, like, I played 3 1-2 opponents, and I've come out 1-2 myself. So, what does that say about me? But yeah, I played Wreck-It Mike. You see his team. He brought Palafin, Deoxys, Chiyu, Iron Treads. He did not have a Namorous for this match. He did not have Electrode. He didn't have Hitmon. Did he have Hitmontop? He did not have Hitmontop. Like, he didn't have these Pokemon. But I can go look at his page. He had Palafin, Deoxys, Chiyu, Treads, Grafii, Kilowattrel, Ninetales, Lurantis, Masquerain, Como. That was his team. He brought Palafin, Ninetales, Deoxys, Lurantis, Chiyu, Iron Treads. So first off, he left Kilowattrel, which was very good into my team. I was very scared about Kilowattrel. Like, it speed times with Weavile and outspeeds everything else. And like, I had Slowking, which obviously doesn't want to take Thunderbolts, and I was Terra Water Chiyu, or the Dunsparce. So yeah, that was bad. But other than that, like, the prep was fine. It was standard bulk up Palafin, Spikes Dio defense with Teleport, Recover, Nightshade, Spikes, Chiyu with Scarf, Treads with Shuka Berry. Lurantis was Assault Vest, and Ninetales was just standard Veil stuff. So, lead preview, it's I had a designated lead. 10 times out of 10 I let the Dunsparce to get my Terra Water off. I needed it as soon as possible. It enables me to swap into Palafin, allows me to swap into Chiyu, it allows me to switch into Treads equally as well. Like, it doesn't hurt me, and it only helps me for multiple things. So, obviously I wanted it. Yeah, I was Trick Iron Ball, Goldingo. I was 4 attacks Weavile, Calm Mind Slowking, Scarf Cleavor, a really bulky Noivern, Defog, Roost, Super Fang Draco with like a lot of Spadef to live Chiyu better. And then Max Spadef, or like very Spadef Dunsparce, but I think I was still impish. I was really scared about Palafin. Palafin could sweat my team so easily. It was so easy. But anyway. So yeah, I get pretty unlucky because he leads. Like, I get the best lead possible. He leads Chiyu and I lead Dunsparce. But my Terra Blast is wrong. I wanted to be Terra Blast special and it was physical. It does not come into play ever. I don't think I ever clicked Terra Blast again. Just, it sucked. Yeah, but like, we'd go through this interaction with the Dunsparce. He goes Lurantis on the Dunsparce, and I go Noivern. And so my Noivern ends up taking like 50%, and then Lurantis dies. So that happened. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand the Lurantis bring. It was to help with Goldingo, but it didn't help with Goldingo. He sat it immediately. So I don't really know. I don't know. But yeah, bless me. So Lurantis dies. He goes Chiyu. I go to Dunsparce. We go through that interaction a little bit until he crits my Dunsparce with Dark Pulse, which is really bad. Well, no. First off, I'm able to get Noivern a Roost off on Deoxys because he goes Deoxys now on the Dunsparce. I Roost on Deoxys. I go Noivern. He goes for Spike. I defang and get away. He goes hard Chiyu. I go to Dunsparce again. I Roost on the Dio Swamp. And then next time he clicks Nightshade instead of Spike. So I'm able to Roost Noivern back up to like 65-70%, which is enough to live a Scarf Chiyu Dark Pulse guaranteed. And so I'm able to get a Super Fang off, which is huge because now it's at 50%. And A, if I get rocks up, it has, 2 switch-ins. And B, now it dies to the Dunsparce. C, you got a Slowking. D, you can't switch into Goldingo anymore. So yeah, it's very big getting a Super Fang off. But then my Noivern down to like 10%, and Chiyu comes in for Dark Pulse. Again, after the Super Fang, he gets another Dark Pulse off, and he crits my Dunsparce, which is really bad, because it takes like 75% from a crit. Or like 70-75%. And so I need to get like plenty of leftover turns to live another Dark Pulse, which is really bad, because the situation is not easy to get. I really cannot bringing the Dunsparce much here. I just had it for Chiyu, but now it doesn't even check Chiyu anymore. So Weavile has to take another 45. Weavile has to take 45% early because I have to switch into Dark Pulse, and then so that's really bad. And then later on, Treads comes in. Well, hold on. First off, I get Goldingo in on Deoxys, and wait, no, was it Deoxys? No. I got it in on Ninetales, and then Trick hardened the Iron Treads, which negates its Shuka. Or no, it was not Shuka Berry. It was Chompleberry. Sorry, it was Chompleberry. Which gets rid of the Chompleberry and gives it an Iron Ball, which now means it's very much not as good as it was. Because now Goldingo outspeeds. Now, that's really it. Just Goldingo. But that's all I needed. Like, Goldingo was the only thing that needed to outspeed it. Because I do like 50% with Shadow Ball. Because I'm modest max special attack. So that's fine. That's perfect for me. But then he crits my Slowking. Like, immediately. And so I have no switch in. Because, like, it takes a crit knock that does like 75% also. At like 80%. And so now my Slowking is really low, and just kind of struggles to recover also. I can recover on Deoxys, but then I'm allowing spikes to go up, and I do not want to allow spikes to go up. Like, basically no matter what. So, but then he doubles to Chiyu on Slowking as I go to Dunsparce, I believe. And so then I sack Noivern, get in Weavile, and then I kill the Ninetales with Metal Claw. Which is a big breaking point because it makes Slowking like very good at that point because he has Chiyu, Deoxys, Palafin, and Treads at that point. So yeah, and it comes down to an end game of Calm Mind Slowking being able to set up on Deoxys, and it sets up, it kills Palafin and Chiyu, and that's all it needs to do because Deoxys can't beat everything. Big things about this game, just very much controlled the pace. I played this game exactly how I wanted to. Chiyu didn't kill every Pokemon. It still killed 2 Pokemon, by the way, but it didn't kill everything, and that was the big deal. I prepped well to prevent Mike from being able to sweep me with everything. Got unlucky. I do get pretty fortunate on the Palafin, but only like semi. Like, it probably didn't matter because he got a Body Slam Para immediately, which sucked because yeah, it just sucked because it gave him an out. Because if I got paralyzed like 3 times, then I would have died or I would have lost. But yeah, so he just kind of got out-prepped and outplayed. I just controlled the pace, let Weavile break. Calm Mind Slowking was able to clean up in the end. And yeah. I'm above Will because Will, I don't know. Will had an out. He got unlucky, but Will was also just already lower than me. So, like, at that point I was 10. And when I say he was higher than me, I mean he was higher than me. I mean, God. When I said he was higher than me, it was a matter of now it's tough to put him higher. He could be ahead of me. Maybe Will should have been ahead of me. But ultimately I won and he lost, which makes it it's always harder when that happens. Because it's like a momentum thing. It's like he's dropping and I'm raising, so how far do we go with that? But next we have Spider, who played Lars. Spider has played a bitch of a schedule. Well, not a bitch of a schedule. It's just a tough schedule. He's played Lars and Muffins, who are both 3-0. And then also played me. But yeah, anyway, he played Lars. Spider's higher than us because A, he beat me, so it just makes sense to have him still higher than me. We have the same record. And he beat me, so it just makes sense. But also because his matchup was shit. He could not beat Sun. He could not be Walking Wake. You look at his team, he had nothing for Walking Wake. I mean, he had nothing. He brought like Terra Water Wiggly. He was Terra Water Wigglytuff. Um, it was Bulk Up Thunderous, which is interesting. Resto Chesto, really cool set. I don't know what the Quack was. Tinglu was just Spike Standard. The Spectrier was Subplot, or Subcalm Mind. And then the Arknk was Air Balloon, which is pretty sick counter to Gouging Fire. So, like, really cool team. It was just like nothing. He couldn't beat Wonking Wake. Like, he lets Wigglytuff get burnt early, which is really bad. But it's really hard not to. But, cause like he had no switch into Wisp, really. Like he should have gone Tinglu, but he needed to Wish back his Wigglytuff too, so it's really tough. That Walking Wake matchup is just not good. He had nothing to control Walking Wake. The prep was cool, but Walking Wake got like 5. I think Walking Wake got 5 kills this match, and I think the last one went to. Cause Walking Wake killed Quack, it killed Dund, it killed Wigglytuff, it killed Arcanine, it killed Spectrier. Did it kill Tinglu? I think it might have killed Tinglu also. It might have just gotten 6 kills. No. Gouging Fire killed. I don't think Walking Wake killed Wigglytuff. I think like Gouging Fire did. But anyway, Spider's matchup was really bad, and that's what that boiled down to. It's like he didn't have a chance. Walking Wake killed everything on his team, and there was not much he could do in prep. The best thing he could have brought was either the Wigglytuff or Virizion. That was really it, and Virizion can't do anything to Walking Wake, really. The Wigglytuff doesn't even kill. He has like 2 a KO. It's just, his matchup was really bad, and that's what that boiled down to. It's like, I don't want to fault him too much for having a god-awful matchup into Sun. He just didn't have it out versus Wake. That's what it boiled down to. He could have brought like Haban, Dragaugi. I think that's another wrong option. Like Haban or Dragaugi, keeping Wigglytuff healthy, and like Assault Vest Max Spadef Virizion or some crap like that. And that's what we were resorting to beat this Walking Wake. It's really bad. Wreck-It Mike, we talked about it with my matchup. He brought Lurantis, not a good call. It just didn't do anything. And it was terrible. It's meant to help with Goldengo, but it didn't. It came in and early and died to Noivern. So yeah. I also didn't like a Kilowattrel over Lurantis would have like made this game a lot more difficult. I'm not saying it would have won, but it would have made it a lot more difficult. So yeah, but he gets pretty lucky too. Like he gets crits into Slowking and the Dunsparce, both of which were very big. Damn that name. The Dunsparce crit was bigger, but Slowking was big too. Yeah, I don't know. It's like Lurantis was useless. Kilowattrel would have been a way bigger threat. And he just like never had momentum. Like every time Chi-Yu was in, it could click Dark Pulse, and it got kills. It got 2 kills. It just wasn't enough because that was like his only biggest threat. And then Palafin couldn't or struggled to win when I had Slowking, Terra, Water, Dunsparce. You know, I should have had ways to beat these things. He got out prepped, and ultimately his Scarf Chi-Yu couldn't sweep. That's what that boiled down to. Yeah, he was just really high. He was number 6 before this, so it's really hard to drop him too low. Though, to be fair, his only wins over the 16th place Danny Mac. So, if he loses week 4, he's yikes. Sableye. Sableye is dropping and dropping. He began the season at number 2. Now he is sitting at number 9. He's lost to CB Marcus and Dash Sceptile. Both, I mean, good players. Just, you know, it's tough. I thought Serena was very good into this team. Like, insanely good, even. His opponent brought no Dragon Ball. It just brought King Gambit, Ogre Pawn, Sylveon, Iron Moss, Thunderous Necrozma. I thought Serena was like a very obvious bring into this team. I mean, I genuinely have no clue why Serena was not brought. I don't know why. I mean, I understand that Mon's brought. I just think Serena was very good here. Like, you have a strong hit in the Sylveon. You have a Thunderous soft check. You have Ogerpon check, counter, check. Because then she can U-turn one time and suddenly Cudgel's doing a fuck ton. You have Queenly Majesty, so King Gambit can't even Sucker Punch you. Like, you have coverage to hit everything super effectively minus Necrozma. Like, you have Triple Axle for Thunderous, Zen for Iron Moth, Power Whip, and like a high jump kick, or low kick. You get low kick, so you can just low kick King Gambit. Like, you have just 4 attacks. Just 4 attacks is really good here. Boots, Scarf, probably not Scarf. Actually, Scarf's pretty good here too, but Boots, Assault Vest, like anything. Serena was very good here, was left on the bench. But again, I don't know what Pokemon he would bring it over. Like, it's really tough to fit it on the team. The only thing I could really see was, like, you also could have just been Spin Serena, and then you'd have no rocks. But, like, at that point, you just gotta take it. I mean, but he brought a team that was 6-0'd by Necrozma. It beats Colossal. It beats Ursaluna. It beats Rabombi. It beats Jirachi. And it beats Iron Valiant. And Haxorus does a lot of damage. Haxorus is the only thing that can really damage that thing. So what happens is that Necrozma comes in and literally is on the field for the next 20 minutes. Just Calm Minding, Moonlighting, Photon Geysering, and Earth Powering. Like, it just sits there and beats Ursaluna 1v1. Jirachi has to come in to paralyze it, which it misses twice, I think, which is really unlucky. But it like didn't matter unless you got Paraluck. So yeah. Like, he brought a Calm Mind, Jirachi, walled by Necrozma. Like, everything was beaten by Necrozma. Everything lost to Necrozma. And like, even the thing was, like, Ursaluna was able to get like 60% off and put it into Haxorus range, and he doesn't go Haxorus because he wasn't paying attention to the HP. Like, it's in range of Haxorus. You had a way to kill it with Haxorus, Jirachi, Colossal, and Iron Valiant alive. And I think even Rabombi was alive at that point. Or no, Rabombi died. But you had 4 Mons alive, and instead it sweeps your entire team and leaves Iron Valiant on the field. It's the last Mon on the field. Like, no. But, yeah. He just, like, I don't know. He just didn't beat it. He brought a team that was smashed by Necrozma, and he got smashed by Necrozma. He also, I don't know if he knew this, but Facade is not boosted by sleep. It's like, you can't rest and then sleep talk Facade for 140 base power Facade. If he knew that, then you should not have been Facade. You should have just been Body Slam to try to paralyze Necrozma, because then it makes it a lot easier to 1v1. And the potential to, like, paralyze Ogerpon, paralyze Sylveon even. Like, paralysis just chance is really good here. And you're just doing more damage. Like, it just does more damage. Is the biggest thing. It's just you're doing more damage with Body Slam. If he didn't know, then I understand Facade. But yeah, that's not boosted. Guts is boosted. Facade's not boosted by sleep. Shadow Stitch. We're getting to our top half. Shadow Stitch. The issue with this is why Shadow Stitch is so high is because A, he was high already. He was number 7. B, he played. His losses come to high 3-0 Muffins and then 2-1 Fist. And he got unlucky. So, yeah. He brings Quick Feet Jolt. Did I say what the other team brought? I didn't really know. I didn't see much. It was just Calm Mind Necrozma. That swapped everything. But yeah, this was Agility, Weakness Policy, Latios. This was Choppleberry, uh, Samurott. It was Eject Pact, Overheat, Wheezing, which was really sick. Spadef Tran with Magma Storm, Rocks Protects, Scarf Zapdos, and then Quick Feet Jolteon. Really cool set. So the issue is that he leads Samurott into Volcanion. He gets like 40%. I was like 35% off into Volcanion, but Volcanion Focus Blast, and it does like 97% on a Chompo Berry. Why does this shit kill Samurott? Like, why does this shit almost kill? It probably was a damage roll. Focus Blast was probably a damage roll to one-shot Samurott through a Chompo Berry. That's so strong. It was specs, but god damn, bro, shit is strong as fuck. But yeah, he gets a Spike Up, and then like he gets in. Oh, I don't even remember this game much. I know he gets in Wheezing, and then no. He goes on Focus Blast. He goes Lottie. And Corv comes in on the double switch, and Corv hard switches out into Assault Vest Iron Thorns. He brings Darkrai, Garchomp, Dio, Corviknight, Iron Thorns, and Volcanion. No Annihilate. Yeah, he was Assault Vest Iron Thorns, Specs Volcanion, just standard Corv, Expert Belt Dio, Rocky Helmet, Garchomp, and Scarf Darkrai. So he goes Corv, I imagine, to try defog. He hard switches out into Assault Vest Iron Thorns on the Agility. Latios, and the Latios does like, it gets like 70% off, but it dies, and that was probably your win con. So yeah, that was really bad, because your win con died way too early. And then he gets in Quick Feet Jolteon, and it's slower than Darkrai, which is awful, because the Darkrai ends up flinching Jolteon. So outside of the fact that he would have 2-hit KO'd and been at like 88%, he takes 50%, or he takes like 60%, and doesn't kill the Darkrai. It's awful. That situation was awful. But yeah, you should have been faster than Scarf Darkrai. I feel like that's very obvious that you should have been faster. Scarf Darkrai outspeeds Jolteon if it's not Quick Feet. It outspeeds Scarf Zapdos, Scarf Serp, Scarf Zoroark, Scarf Lottie. It outspeeds everything. Like, it just makes sense to bring Scarf Darkrai here. I don't know if I would have brought it, but I understand bringing it. Like, but yeah, Arknk comes in Dark Pulses, and he goes Zapdos on Dark Pulse. He turns out on Corv and gets in Tran to Magma Storm. Oh yeah, Samurott died getting chip off on Garchomp earlier with Ceaseless Edge. Interesting interaction that I didn't know about, but it makes sense because that's how every other interaction works. If you die going for Ceaseless Edge, like from Rough Skin or Rocky Helmet, you don't get the Spike Up. I mean, that's how it works with like Spin and shit, but like I didn't know that's how that worked with that. I thought it would still get a Spike Up. But yeah, then Tran comes in. Magma Stores on the Garchomp, protects on rocks, so rocks go up. And then he makes a fucking crazy call and stays in with his Tran to get Stealth Rock up, which rocks would have been huge. He gets flinched though by Iron Head because he knew that Fist would predict Wheezing. So he stays in on Iron Head, gets the call right, but gets flinched by Iron Head. He's able to protect to kill Chomp, but the issue is no rocks are up now. So Volcanion comes in, lives in Earth Power, which otherwise it would have died. So yeah, that was bad. And then like Darkrai comes in, kills off Tran, like he's just able to win. It was close. I mean, it was a close game, but just minor mistakes by Shadow. Like, Not everything's his fault, but like minor mistakes like Latios being the win con and setting up so early and just not able to win. And then like quick feed Jolteon being slower than Darkrai just was really bad. But yeah, obviously you got really unlucky. Like the flinch in a Heatran was bigger than the flinch in Jolteon, to be honest. Even the flinch in Jolteon was huge too. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't huge. It was just the flinch in a Tran. It was the game like ender basically. It wasn't even the game ender. It just you lost because you didn't get rocks up in the end because you died to Volt. So got pretty unlucky, but didn't help himself necessarily, you know. Then we have Fist, who we literally just talked about in Shadow Stitches. I love the Iron Thorns. Just doesn't let Stitch win with anything. Like Scarf Zapdos, Dio's faster than. Quick Feed Jolteon, bad prep, but Darkrai was faster. Latios, it's agility Latios, doesn't get the weakness policy, doesn't pop it. Like, just doesn't give him a way to win. Hey, but he gets good fortune with flinches. So, you know, there's only so much you can judge because he gets pretty lucky. And he might not necessarily get bailed out, but he definitely gets lucky with flinches. But we just talked about him. He played decently. He played well to prevent Stitch from winning, but he also got lucky. It's really as simple as that. I mean... Volume does a good job. Will. He played Will. Brought our Shifu, Ogre, Bundle, Dragonite, and he did not have Quagsire, Electrode. He had yeah, this is his team. Girafarig, Golurk. That's what he brought. Yeah, you see what 6 he brought. I thought it was pretty good. It was Scarf Blaze. Lycanroc was Hard Rock. Leftovers, Vikavolt. Surprised it was not Terra Fire. It should have been Terra Fire, assuming it's Terra Fire. Will said it was Terra Fire, so I'm assuming it was Terra Fire. I didn't check, but I'm assuming he didn't. I'm assuming he wasn't wrong. But he should have been Terra Fire. Just to Ogerpon. It was just Berry Clef, cool set. Just standard Gliscor. And then Grenin was Belt, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember his item. I just know it was 4 attacks, Battle Bond. I think it might have been Belt. I don't remember the item. But yeah, he gets damage into Ogerpon early, which is great. But in the first, because they had to recreate, because it was a rematch, right? And in the first iteration, he does like 80% with Stone Edge. So next time the Ogerpon comes in, it dies to rocks. But in the second iteration, he does like 70% with Stone Edge, or like 60. He does like 67, like 67-ish. Which means it doesn't die to rocks, which means Greninja gets the Battle Bond late, and it just kind of sweeps. I feel like, despite it winning, I think Gren could have waited. But like, I don't know if it really could have waited, because at that point you were like, Will was playing pretty the early game pretty well, just comparatively. Made a mistake letting Gliscor live versus Girafarig, but other than that, it's like, I don't know, Will plays early game pretty well, and volume was down. So, and then Golurk comes in, like, flunks up Gliscor and Vikavolt. So at this point, I think volume's like down like 6-4, and his position's not great. I mean, it's not bad. It was not bad position, just wasn't a great position. But then Gren's able to come in, Battle Bond break, and not sweep, and like, Will also had outs versus Greninja. I think that's the biggest issue. Like, obviously the recreation was awful. And at that point, I would have asked to recreate again because the HP value is way different on Ogerpon, and it completely mattered. I understand not wanting to do it twice, but it literally lost you the game. So, but despite that, he had outs. He sacks off the entire team, literally the entire team. Before, like, he only had to sack one Pokemon. He had to sack Dragonite to get a Hurricane off, or he had to sack Ogerpon to Greninja to get the Battle Bond off. Then he goes Greninja or Dragonite, or he could sack Bundle and just go Dragonite instead. But I don't like that one as much. Do you like Iron Bundle, or do you like Dragonite more versus this? Maybe you keep Dragonite. Nah. It's like the same thing, really. I don't know. Which is better, Dragonite or Bundle? I think Bundle. That's like the same shit. Actually, Dragonite can get a roost off, though. It's like very good. But like, what the fuck is it roosting on? Vigavolt's dead. Gliscor's dead. It can't roost on Clef. Greninja's dead in this world. Blaziken's never gonna give it a roost. Because I think it's CC and Flare Bush just kill at the range it would be at. Because it's like 25% after an Ice Beam, probably. And Liger Rock kills it. Yeah, like, so, I don't know. It's like the same shit. But either way, you needed to just sack one of Bundle or Dragonite, and then go the other one to kill it. Instead, he sacks Golurk to Ronks. He sacks Giraffe Rig for a Terra Blast that doesn't kill. He sacks off. What's he sack off? Oh, he sacks off for Shifu. A Scarf for Shifu that died. Like, he sacks off everything instead of just sacking off one Pokemon. He had to sack off one Pokemon. And might I add that if he went hard Bundle and on the Greninja, which he probably should have done, then he would have only had to sack one Pokemon, period, instead of sacking two Pokemon. So yeah, in that aspect, it was pretty bad because he had ways out and he just didn't play him. I think he got tilted once he realized how much the Ogerpon not dying to rocks mattered. Really unlucky. It's just, that's the game we play, kinda, sorta. Then we get Marcus. There's really not much to say about this match. He played Sableye. Sableye didn't have anything for Calm Mind Necrozma. Calm Mind Necrozma set up and beat, like, all the team. And, oh wait, I didn't mean to go to the next one. And, yeah. Thunder's come out. I think Thunder's came out. Yeah, Thunder's came out. King Gambit. Iron Moth didn't even come out. Actually, no. Literally, Iron Moth is the only Pokemon that didn't come out. But, like, Sylveon got it was a Misty Explosion. That was cool. I didn't view CB Marcus's side at all. Because it was just such a quick match. I didn't have any time. It wasn't a quick match. It was just a very one-sided match. Like, he didn't have to. It's just the same team. I mean, there's nothing to find out about his team. It's the same team as always. It's just the same 6 out of 7. He has 7 Pokemon to choose from. Unless he's bringing Shifter or Fio, which is a throw. He has 7 Pokemon to pick from. He just gotta pick 6 of them. No Dragapult into Ursaluna, into Rabombi, into Iron Valiant, into Glastrier, into Overquill. It makes a lot of sense not to bring Dragapult here. I definitely don't blame him for that. It's just the same team as always. Calm Mind Necrozma was not able to be beaten by what Sableye brought, and he didn't kill it with the one chance he had. Muffins didn't play, so he didn't move. It's really as simple as that. Dashing Sceptile. I really wanted to move Sceptile down below Muffins, but I just couldn't. Just because Muffins didn't play. If Muffins had literally played, if he had won, no matter how bad he played. That's not true. Like, Sceptile did, like, basically everything wrong. What I say by that is, like, it's very much resembling how he played versus Razor Claw week 1, mixed with what he played Sableye week 2. Like, okay, so I don't remember lead. Lead, his opponent brought Great Tusk, Raging Bolt. It was Lefty's Raging Bolt, Rocky Helmet Great Tusk, Scarf Cinderace, Vaporeon, Calm Mind Vaporeon, Ninetales, Heat Rock, and Resto Chesto Regirock, Terra Fighting. So first off, he has no answer to Raging Bolt. Not really. He brought us like a cool tech with Thund. It's Thunderclap, or it was Wakam Berry to prevent Thunderclap. And he has Nasty Plot Icy Wind, which is pretty sick. The issue with it, Icy Wind is like 35%. And plus 2 is doing like 70%. So like, I don't know. But I don't blame him for that. He doesn't have much for it. So he needs to have everything he can. So I don't blame him for that. That I'm fine with. But it seems really very weak to bait. What the fuck? It's really weak to Raging Bolt. Yeah, it seems also really Cinderace weak because Cinderace is obviously going to have Electro Ball for Alomomola. And if it Electro Balls Alomomola one time, there's no switch into Pyro Ball. And he doesn't have a Scarfer. So he has nothing to outspeed Cinderace other than Torn. So yeah. And this Cinderace is Scarf in this case. So he has nothing to outspeed it. And once Alomomola takes the Electro Ball, Pyro Ball is completely free. But anyway, early on we get an interaction with Great Tusk versus Slowking. The Slowking is at like 70%, 75%. It takes a Volt Switch from Raging Bolt and it goes Tusk. You have the Shuka Berry on Slowking Galarian specifically for Great Tusk, or also Landorus. It could be both for these. But nonetheless, Tusk is very obviously going to be defensive here. You have a Low Kicks and a Mienshao. It's obviously going to be defensive here. But even if you're worried about offensive, it doesn't reveal Booster. The only thing that could kill you is Choice Banded Headlong Rush. And I'm assuming that killed. I didn't calc it, but I'm assuming that killed. I don't know your spread, so I have no clue if it killed or not. There was no way Tusk was killing you otherwise. You have a Shuka Berry. If it goes for Headlong Rush and it's not Choice Bandit and it doesn't kill you, you're going to kill it with your Psychic move. I forget, it's Eerie Spell or something. Like, you kill it if it goes for Headlong Rush. And either way, you're getting like 60% off, 70% off with Eerie, or not Impulse, Eerie Spell. Like, and then that makes Low Kicks incredible. He has no switch in. But instead, he switches out into Alomomola and gets knocked off early, so you now don't have a helmet, which isn't huge, but it's like, it's just an early criticism. You have Shuka Slowking, just reveal it. Do incredible damage to Great Tusk. And he gets this interaction again, and he also doesn't go for it. At that point, you would have killed Great Tusk. So, yeah. Doesn't take that route. Instead, the Alomomola comes in, and Raging Bolt comes in. You get a Baton Pass out into Baxcalibur. Good interaction. So you just attack with Icicle Spear or Scale Shot, right? Oh no, not Sceptile. He clicks Substitute. There's a Regirock, a Vaporeon, maybe not Vaporeon. There's a Regirock, a Cinderace, and that's it. That's all he needs. There's a Regirock and a Cinderace both alive. He doesn't know about Scarf Cinderace, which is fine. But more importantly, there's a Regirock. Regirock is so blatantly obvious. Not necessarily to come, but he brought Regirock. It's so obviously the answer to Baxcalibur. Just click Icicle Spear. Get 30-40% off. And then try Swords Dancing next time. Or was it Swords Dance or was it Dragon Dance? I forget. This one was Swords Dance. It was Swords Dance, I think. It was Swords Dance. So yeah, he ends up getting +2 in front of Regirock, as Regirock goes for Body Press, and then breaks the sub. So then he gets +2 Icicle Spear out because he's loaded dice, and Bax is dead. the backs that could have swept this team, by the way, if, like, he doesn't know Cinderace is Scarf. If Cinderace is not Scarf, then backs actually just 6-0s this team if Regirock's weakened. Obviously, that's a couple ifs, but that's it. It's a couple ifs. Either way, you need this Pokemon for Raging Bolt. You need it. You have nothing to beat this Raging Bolt otherwise. And this Pokemon will come in every time. It will Volt Switch. It will Thunderbolt. It will do everything it wants to do because you don't have backs to kill it. So, then he goes, so Regirock kills Excalibur, and you'll never guess what he goes. This is a Terra fighting Regirock, by the way. He is already Terra'd into a fighting type. That is weak to Tornadus, by the way. And you know what he does? He goes Terra low kicks and U-turns. Hey, don't ask me why. I don't know. I don't know. He keeps doing that too. He loves to give his opponent free turns. I do not understand why. It's like he tries so hard to get momentum, but he just doesn't. He just loses momentum. It should have costed him last week, but his opponent threw. This week, he gets punished for it, but it doesn't lose him anything. Like, it's so bad. It's so bad. He goes Terra low kicks. It's a 40%. It's like a 40% Regirock. You're not killing. He Terra U-turns. It does like 35%. Doesn't die, and he inevitably goes Torn. And now and he rests. So now this Regirock is at 100%. If it has Stone Edge, your Torn is dead. Yeah. That's it. You could have just gone Torn on the 40% Terra fighting Regirock. Instead, you're now in with Torn on the 100% Terra fighting Regirock. With a curse up, by the way. There's also a curse up. Because he gets a curse up on... What does he get a curse up on? I know he gets... wait, does he get... Maybe he doesn't get a curse up. Maybe he doesn't... I know, he gets a curse up. Or an Iron Defense or whatever. Oh yeah, he does it in front of backs. Because, like, it's free. Like, you don't take anything. I think he gets it in front of backs. I'm pretty sure. So then... Torn takes like the most unnecessary 60% ever, and doesn't kill Regirock. So now Regirock is alive, and your Torn took damage instead of just going Torn immediately and killing Regirock. It doesn't make sense. So then Raging Bolt comes in, does his Volt Switching shenanigans because Bax is dead, so you don't have that as an answer. Like, obviously Max is not a good answer to Raging Bolt. Like, obviously it's not. But it's something. Because otherwise, you just go Slowking every time. And you're allowing in Cinderace and Great Tusk and shit. And Ninetales, too. To an extent. Ninetales. Yeah, so... That's really it. Well, for that early game. Then we get to the late game. And he has low kicks in after KOing... Was it after KOing Regirock? I think it was after KOing Great Tusk. So it takes more Rocky Helmet Chip, doesn't matter. So this... No, it was Mienshao was in. Mienshao was in with... after KOing... After KOing Regirock, I believe. Yeah, after it KO'd Regirock. So the opponent brings in Cinderace. And he predicts the Alomomola and goes for Electro Ball. Number one, he knows this does more damage than it's supposed to. He says this in the video. I was EV to live this specific thing because Electro Ball is incredibly obvious versus Alomomola. Like, he knows this does more damage than it's supposed to. Obviously it could be special attack infested. But, you can either he's always going to Electro Ball here. Switch into your low kicks. You have to have Alomomola. I mean, you have to have Alomomola. You lose if you do not have Alomomola. Whether or not Cinderace is Scarf or not, Scarf does not matter because your Mienshao is not Scarf. And first impression kills it anyway. the Cinderace is obviously going to click Electro Ball here. You have to switch. You lose to Cinderace if you do not switch. And he stays in. And he stays in with Alomola and sacks off Alomola to the Fireball. Or to the Electro Ball. You go hard low kicks. And you first impression for a kill. You're sitting at 3-3 then. Then you have to get more turns right. You have to get turns right. Like, your end game is not easy no matter what. But you did the one way that gave you no chance. Well, it gave you whatever. It gave you a chance if he misses 2 Pyro Balls in a row. He did every single thing possible to let Ark win. He did everything possible to let Ark win. And he gets bailed out completely by 2 Pyro Ball misses. Now, unfortunately, he was sitting at number 3 after a very good performance last week. There was just no one to drop him under. If Muffin had played, he 100% would have been over Sceptile. And I don't think I would have had, went the wrong way. I don't think I would have had Marcus over him. But, nah, I wouldn't have Marcus over him. But, unfortunately, there was just no way for Sceptile to drop. He played so bad. And Ark played very well, and he gets completely bailed out. Same way he got bailed out week 1, but apparently that one didn't matter because +2 player up didn't kill. But nonetheless, this was a complete bailout. He was even saying it's like, okay, I'm just trying to preserve differential at this point. Because that was the only way that's the only thing you could do. This was a 3-0 win for Ark, and it turns into a 2-0 loss. Awful. Completely awful. Anyway, Lars, there's not much to say about this one. Lars played very well, but, like, his matchup was godly. Just to be fair, Walking Wake could not be stopped, ever. It's just kind of as simple as that. Walking Wake can get in 50 times and get 50 kills. I don't... That's it. I mean, there's nothing else to it. Like, Spider didn't bring anything good enough for Wake. He brings Terra Water Wigglytuff, which was a decent check, but it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. The only things he could bring were, like, Assault Vest, like, Max whatever is he on, and then, like, a Habanberry Dragalge is probably what I would have brought, because Dragalge's pretty good here. Actually, just Thunderbolt, Sludge Bomb, Draco, T-Spikes. Like, they're a very good set here. With Habanberry, looks huge ass threat. Especially if you can get wishes off with Wigglytuff. It's just good. Yeah. Walking Away just kept coming in and got 5 kills. I don't know which Pokemon I didn't kill, but I know it killed Arcanine, Thund, Quack, Spectrier. I just don't remember if it killed Tinglu or if it killed... No. Gouging Fire killed Tinglu. But yeah, he brought a good Terra Normal Ditto to counter Spectrier, and it did its job. It put it in Walking Wake range under Sun, so like it did its job. Yeah, there's not much to say. It's just Lars was number 2 last week. He had no reason to drop. No one's fighting for this number 2 spot right now. Muffin's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to play. Obviously, I'm not gonna fault Muffin for not playing. It was not like he got a forfeit win for a reason. It was not a coin flip or anything. He just got the forfeit win. So yeah, it's just tragic because I mean, Lars had nowhere to go. Like he can't go up, can't go down. He's number 2. I mean, you're not gonna complain about number 2. And same thing about Greyvee. Greyvee won. I mean, so his opponent brought like the weirdest perp I've ever seen. It was, I believe it was Scarf Zarude. It was Salicberry Pheasantipity. It was Scarf Heracross. It was Yachi Terragrass Talonflame. Then it was Salic Mamoswine. And then he had a Trapinch too on his team. And that was Custapberry. The weirdest team I've ever seen. He had double, I think he had double choice Scarf. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Zuri wasn't Scarf. I don't know. It doesn't matter. This was the weirdest prep I've ever seen in my entire life. And it didn't work. I will say Greyvee really messed up by almost allowing Pheasantipity to sweep. But it didn't happen, so I guess here we are. Like, he was able to play the interaction differently because the dodges. Like, the issue is if a Salazzle hit some of these Fire Blasts, he was going to enable Pheasantipity to get its Salicberry, and Fez can then Roost. And if it gets a Roost off, you lose on these spots. So it's just a matter of how Salazzle dies. Whether it dies a Life Orb fast enough. Which in this case, it didn't even pop the Salicberry, so it was just crazy. Yeah, I don't know. He just gamed. He's gamed. He didn't have to do much. I don't think Mew came out. Trapagos did come out to kill. Killed something. I think killed Heracross. Maybe killed. I don't remember. Killed something. Killed Mamoswine. Killed Mamoswine. Yeah, I don't think Lando came out either. Maybe Lando came out. I can't remember if Lando. I don't think Lando came out. Yeah, it was Weakness Fallen Seek Mew, Choice Banded Chiempo, Rocky Helmet, Swords Dance, Iron Hands. Lando was just rocks, I think. There's Life Orb Salazzle, then Boots, Rest, Sleep, Talk, I believe. Trapagos, like Earth Power and Terra Starstorm. Yeah, his opponent played really weird and brought a. Oh, he didn't play really weird. He just brought a really weird team, and it didn't work. So yeah, that's what that boils down to. Like, that's all I had to say about that. He just won. He didn't do much. He just won. But yeah, that's the PRs. It's shorter because we had a forfeit game, and then we had a game like Greyvee's and Razor Claw where there's really not much to talk about. And like, yeah. That's it. My match goes up tomorrow, then we'll have PRs again next week. We'll probably see some shifts next week. We didn't have much shifting this week. The biggest move we had was, yeah, Fist moving up 4